everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeline and I create knitting content here on YouTube. So in today's video, I'm actually showing you that's not specifically knitting related, but still uses yarn, so I feel like it still belongs on my channel. And it's how I made this Pom Pom Christmas Tree craft. So basically what I've done here is I've just taken one of the Christmas tree forms that you can get at your craft stores. So I got this one at AC Moore, and it already has holes drilled into it. So I just took little strings of pom-poms that I made out of white and red sparkly yarn and just created a little Christmas tree craft. So down in the description box below, you're going to find a list of all the materials I used during this video. And if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them down below. Also, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Starting off with my Christmas tree, this is the one I'm using. I got this one at AC Moore. Basically, it just comes with all the little holes already drilled into it. I think typically they sell little light kits with it, and then you can kind of make a whole Christmas tree like that. And so yes, this is the Christmas tree I'm using. Then to paint the Christmas tree, I got some of the foam brushes and then the green paint. And this one is the colorway Woodland Green. Now for the pom-poms, I'm using two different colors of yarn. So this is the Simply Soft Party yarn. And the first one I have is this red color. Yep, so it's just called Red Sparkle. And then the second pom-pom yarn I'm using is Snow Sparkle, same brand again. Then I just have two things of tapestry thread, and I'm just using these two colors because I already had them. So this one's again a red metallic, and then this one's some white tapestry thread, and that's to tie up my pom-poms. I have a set of pom-pom makers, and I'm going to be using these smaller two down here. So that's the 3.8 centimeters and the 4.8 centimeters. I was trying to figure out what to do with the base down here, and so I thought it would look pretty if I put this black kind of like sparkle paper down here on the base and then wrap it over the edge. So this was with the felt, I think, and basically it just has a sticker on the back, so you can just peel it off and stick it on. And then the last thing I did buy was some of this glitter snow. And so basically I was just thinking I may use this one on some of the edges just to decorate it a little bit more. Not sure yet if I'll end up using this one. I'm going to start off by painting the Christmas tree green, and I'm going to do everything and even down onto the base a little bit on both sides of the Christmas tree and along both of the edges. I've now finished painting my tree, and I did go for a thinner layer of paint just so I could get more of the texture of the tree. So now while this dries, I'm just going to set it to the side and start making my pom-poms. So I basically made just an even number of the red and the white ones. I used the smallest size pom-pom maker to make each one of them. And then basically I just made each pom-pom. So this is what it looks like when I finished it. And then I just trimmed off the tapestry thread that I used to tie it, and then any of the extra little pieces. So then you just end up with tons of little pom-poms with no strings attached. Because again, we don't need these strings to tie them on or anything. We're just going to thread straight through the center of the pom-pom. So now I'm going to start assembling the actual tree and putting the pom-poms on there. First, just let me trim this last pom-pom. For this next step, I'm going to need to figure out how much yarn I need to thread the pom-poms onto the tree. So I'm going to use a tapestry needle, and I threaded it through my white yarn. You can use any color though. And basically I just pulled off about 3 yards because I thought that would be kind of the upper limit of how much I might need. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread the yarn through where I would like to put the pom-poms. And that way I can figure out how much yarn I need when I actually go to add the pom-poms, and I don't have to start adding more yarn as I go along. So I think the way I'm going to thread the yarn is I'm going to start out here at the bottom, go across, go diagonally up again, across, go up, go across, and keep on following that pattern all the way up the tree. And then once I'm finished, the white yarn that's visible on each side is going to be where the pom-poms will be visible. So it's just a good way to also figure out where you want to place the pom-poms before you actually go ahead and start adding them. Now that I've thread my yarn through and I know basically how much string I need to cover the two sides so that they look good, I'm just going to cut that piece of yarn, leaving a little bit of extra, and that'll be my reference point to measure. And I'm also going to cut off some of the extra that I have on the tapestry needle side. So now this piece of yarn that I have in the tree is going to be the size of yarn I need. And I'm not going to use this strand of yarn again, just because it kind of gets very frayed once you thread it through the tree a lot because of the little wooden edges. So I'm just going to cut a new piece that's a little bit longer than this one. Now I've cut my yarn based off of the measurement that I got when I threaded my yarn through, and I added about 2 feet extra onto that, just to account for the extra room the pom-poms are going to take off, and then also tying on the yarn. And now again, I'm going to take the piece I cut. I'm going to thread it onto my tapestry needle. And now I'm going to want to tie the yarn onto the base of the tree. The first step is going to be to attach my yarn to the tree to secure it in place. So this is the first place I want to start with adding my pom-poms. So I'm going to go to the next location that I would go to, thread the tapestry needle through, and now I want to leave the same amount of room basically that it is to go across. On the opposite side, I'm going to thread the needle back through the first location. Now I want to tie these two in place. I'm just going to tie them right to each other. And now I want to cut this little tail so that it's about the same length as one of my pom-pom strands. So to hide that, I'm just going to start off with a white pom-pom. Now I'm going to begin threading my pom-poms. And you just want to go, so you can see that's the string I tied it with. You just want to go in the same direction that you tied them. And start adding your pom-poms until you get to the next location. Now I have enough pom-poms going across there. I'm going to thread the needle through the next location. Pull it pretty tight. And now I'm going to add the pom-poms up to here. Now I'm going to continue doing this all the way up the tree. And don't worry about this location. I'll come back to that one later. I just finished adding my last pom-pom to the front side. So now I'm going to go to the back side, and I'm going to pick a color pom-pom that's the same as the yarn I'm threading through. I'm going to add that one. And now I just want to tie this onto the strand that's right there below it. I'm going to double knot it again. And now I'm going to cut it again so it just kind of blends in with the pom-pom yarn. You can also just tuck it under a little bit too. And now lastly, I have this area down here that I need to cover up. So I'm just going to take a couple more pom-poms on a strand of yarn and just tie it on again on either side. Now I'm just going to move around those pom-poms to cover it up. Now my final step is going to be to cover up the base. So I'm going to do the base and then the front side and then the back again. The base and then the back side. Both of those. I'm going to leave the side edges just green because I already painted those. And so I'm just going to cut some of this and then stick it right on. Here's my finished Christmas tree. Down in the description box below, you're gonna find the full list of the materials I used to make this project. And if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Also, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.